Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthems of the Federated Republic of Brazil and the United States of America.
celular aqui. Não, é isso que eu ia te pedir para você. E deixar o telefone liberado. Nem o CBC não vai mandar isso para nós. Não, já falei com ele.
Staff, freeze, set, pause. Thanks. Mr. President, this concludes the honors. Staff, order. Order! Right, shoulder. Turn! Line! Order! Order! Turn! Order! Order! Turn! Ceremonial! At T! Colors! And at 10! Staff, ceremonial at T.
President Cardoso, Mrs. Cardoso, distinguished guests, I am pleased to welcome to Washington a good friend of the United States and one of our hemisphere's most dynamic leaders. Mr. President, let me begin by expressing my appreciation and the appreciation of the American people for the call and the message you sent to us yesterday in the wake of the terrible incident in Oklahoma City. Let me say again, those responsible will be brought to justice. They will be tried, convicted, and punished. We will never let the forces of inhumanity prevail in the United States. At this moment, the rescue efforts in Oklahoma City continue, and we hold out hope that more survivors will be found. To all those carrying on this dangerous work, to the families and loved ones of those still missing, our prayers are with you. And to all those here watching and those who are watching us through the airwaves, I have ordered all our flags today throughout the United States to be flown at half-mast. And I ask you now to join with me in a moment of silence for the victims. May God's grace be with them. Mr. President, as the largest democracies in the Americas, our countries have a special responsibility to work together to support the extraordinary trend toward democracies and open markets throughout our region. Today, we will pursue that joint action. We both know it is needed to manage our common problems and to seize our shared opportunities. Mr. President, your own life embodies the resilience of the democratic spirit of the Americas. 30 years ago, you were forced into exile by the enemies of democracy. But instead of giving in to bitterness, you carried on the struggle for freedom with reason and reconciliation as your only weapons, and you prevailed. Now you lead a nation that has remained at peace with its neighbors for more than a century. That strong tradition of peaceful relations and your personal commitment to democracy give Brazil a vital role to play in strengthening cooperation among the nations and deepening the roots of civil society throughout our hemispheres. The United States welcomes the opportunity to work with you in this noble cause. We must also work to further the goal we set at the Summit of the Americas, to create a free trade area of the Americas by the year 2005. The building blocks of free trade, the North American Free Trade Agreement and Mercosur, are in place. Now let us move forward to transform our vision of a commercially integrated hemisphere into concrete reality. The emerging partnership between our two countries extends beyond supporting democracy in emerging markets. We are also joining forces to stop the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, to protect the environment, to fight against drug smuggling, and to keep peace in countries that are threatened by ethnic conflict and civil war. The United States is counting on Brazil's continued leadership in meeting these major challenges of our time. Mr. President, you represent a vibrant people whose pride in the past is matched only by their hope for the future. Your own efforts to bring economic stability and social justice to Brazil are responsible for much of that promise of tomorrow. On this solid foundation and under your leadership, Brazil is poised to take its rightful place as a shining example for all the Americas and all the world. Mr. President, we are honored to have you here. Welcome to the White House. Welcome to the United States.
Mr. President, Mrs. Clinton, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President, I know that this is a day for celebration of the friendship between our two countries. At this moment, nevertheless, allow me to express my deep sorrow for the barbaric act that took so many lives in Oklahoma City yesterday. On behalf of the Brazilian people, I would like to bring to you a message of our solidarity with the American people, and especially with the families of the victims of such a senseless act of violence. Mr. President, in my view, this terrorist act affects not only America, it affects all of us who believe in peace, in democracy, and in freedom for all. Mr. President, I have come to the United States of America with the desire to bring a Brazil that is demonstrating its ability to build a free and just society where people from all parts of the world come in peace to fulfill the desire for Brazilian society has changed. Democratic practices now govern social relations. The election of someone putting forward a new program of transformation followed naturally. I am the president of a country that has been revitalized, a country that is beginning a new cycle of prosperity. We have defeated inflation, opened our economy, promoted our integration into the global economy, and began to grow again. The Brazilian people know that freedom is not political.
Honor! Guard!
Fine. I think you're right.
Elder, right? Elder.
Yeah.
Elder, ready?
Please.
Mr. President, this concludes the ceremony.
Next, the joint news conference with President Clinton and Brazilian leader Fernando Cardoso. During the briefing, the president also took a number of questions about the Oklahoma City bomb explosion.